one day Chris left the company. And I didn't get Chris anymore. I got someone named Barrett.
Yeah.
And Barrett sucked. And Barrett was not Chris. And what did we do? We left the company.
Yeah. Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Liam. We got James here back on the show. So today we'll be talking about something a bit more maybe controversial. Not that controversial, but essentially what it's going to be is we truly, or at least I truly believe that if you're going to be running a company, you should be at least trying to get to 7 figures or $1 million worth of revenue. If that's not like in your goal, I kind of disagree with you. And I'm going to explain like the reasons like why. I really think you should at least be striving for like $1 million, why it's really important, why it's going to be better for your family, for your business. It's going to teach like a lot of lessons. I'm going to get into that like later on. Like that's my opinion. I feel pretty strongly about that. Jimbo, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, like there's nothing wrong with choosing not to go for $1 million, but I truly believe like no matter what you do, whether you choose to just hit, $200,000 in revenue and take as much profit as you possibly can for yourself, or go for the big guns, go for $1 million, go for $5 million, at least try to exceed get into the 7 figures. I truly believe that no matter what you do, it's going to be a lot of hard work.
Yeah, oh absolutely.
And if you're going to be working anyways, and if you're going to be thinking, you might as well think big. You might as well go for it, but also there are some very good tangible reasons why it's worth it to go for the $1 million and beyond there. Do I think you should always go for like 50 or 100 million? Actually, no, I don't think you should. I think there is a sweet spot somewhere. You got to know yourself. You got to know your business, because every business is going to be a little bit different, what the magic sweet spot number is. But I think we both agree that it's worth it to go for the $1 million, especially in a lawn care business.
Yeah, right now in the stats in the USA, only 4% of all small businesses actually make it to $1 million. And then only 0.4% of businesses make it to 10 million. Yeah. So it's a really like small minority, like when you think of it. And there's just like so many small businesses that are trying to get there. But I really think it's a really good thing to aim for at least the 1 million, even the 10 million, but at least the 1 million for a couple of reasons. So my reasons are great here is if you're under $1 million, you're probably like a 1 or 2 man show. And you're like very like vulnerable from like many positions. So like number 1 is health. Like if you get sick, you get into a car accident, you break your leg, this or that, or like if you're just like physically incapable of like doing the hard work anymore, you really don't have a business. You know like what I mean, right? So like even ourselves, like right now, we're both 26, 27 years old. Like if even like right now, it's getting a bit tougher for us to do the labor. I couldn't even imagine us at 47, 57 years old, still trying to be like on the tools, on the equipment. And trying to make it work. So like therefore, like for like the number 1 reason is health, pretty much. If you're unhealthy or you break a leg or whatever happens, and the business solely relies on you, you're not gonna have a business after that. Unfortunately, as sad as it is like to say, it's just a fact. Anyway.
I think something worth saying too is that a complex that business owners get into all the time, and we've been there. Sometimes we're still stuck there. Unfortunately, it's called the hero complex. Is that the hero complex means that naturally, this is your business, this is your baby, and no one's going to treat it more seriously and as passionately as you are. However, you can't think that you're the only person that can do your job, because there's a few reasons for that. One is, you're not the only person that can do your job. In fact, I'll bet you $1 million that there are people that can do your job better than you. Correct. You as an entrepreneur need to go find them. Running a business is not easy, and when you want to be the hero, when you want to save that client, when you want to go make that sale, sure, that's great and you might be very good at it, but the problem is when you stop doing it, the business stops. It is so dependent on you, and it's discouraging for people on your team. Like, they want to grow as individuals, they want to grow in the company, and when you're coming in for the kill, when you're coming in to be the saving grace for it, they say, okay, why should I try to progress in this business? Liam just comes in and steps on my toes every single time I do that. When you're trying to sell a business, especially down the road, because if we're in business, eventually there will be an end point. When you're trying to sell something, a business cannot be dependent on you, because you're not selling yourself with the business. If I were to go to investors, I'm trying to sell the business, and all the clients know James by name, and for a client to be happy, it has to be James spraying the lawns, it has to be James answering the phone. That's a huge problem, because if I get sick, if I die, or if I leave, and those clients are leaving because they didn't love your business. Like in our case, they didn't love Yard Dawgs, they loved James.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so no, as Jimmy really said, I think a big aspect too is what Jimmy was saying, right? So right before there, the selling of the business, at the end of the goal, right, or end point. Eventually, either you're gonna sell out or you'll kind of stay in the business, but essentially, if your business is doing it like under $1 million and you are like the person that's doing all the phone calls, emails, right? And just say that, yeah, your name is James. And if I was to, if Yard Dawgs was to like acquire like that business, and we'll just say that Tony was like the owner, but everyone knew Tony. Tony brought them like milk and cookies. Tony was doing everything. Tony was like, calling them at Christmas. Everybody knew Tony. A lot of customers wouldn't translate over. They'd be like, Tony's not there anymore, therefore I'm not going to go with Yard Dawgs.
And it happens to me too. Like,
absolutely.
Remember, we had this insurance agent. His name was Chris. He was an awesome guy, and I loved calling and talking to Chris. Chris was a part of just like his insurance company wasn't anything fancy. They had the same insurance as every other company. But I loved calling and talking to Chris when there was an issue. I need to add a policy, something to the policy, take it off. One day, Chris left the company, and I didn't get Chris anymore. I got someone named Barrett. And Barrett sucked. And Barrett was not Chris, and what did we do? We left the company. We went to find a different insurance provider, someone that could cater to us better. Because we were in love not with the insurance provider, we were in love with Chris.
Exactly. So it's really hard to sell your business if you're under $1 million, because a lot of private equity firms, like larger companies, they're going to say, okay, if your business is dependent on you and you alone, that it's going to be very hard for the customers to actually stay with you if you're acquiring them. Right? That's what you're sort of getting to, right? So I'd say like those are like some really good points. Additionally too, I think, if you're not growing, you're dying. I think, you've gotta, as controversial and, politically incorrect as that might sound, I don't care. Like, it's true. Like, if you're just gonna be stagnant and just like, okay, I'm just gonna stay at the same size over and over and over. I'm not gonna try to like learn marketing strategies or sales strategies or like, read improvement books or whatever and just stay where you are. Like, might as well just give up, toss a towel in. It's just no fun. You want to keep going, keep growing, keep pushing yourself over and over. So I think that's really important, and not even just for you, but also like too, like for like the employees. The employees too, they want to see a company vision of like where you're going to go to. They want to know that, hey, there's a growth plan like for like my career. Because if you're going to attract the right kind of employees, they want to see that, hey, there's actually like a plan with this company. This company's not just going to stay at $300,000 for the rest of like their life.
And I noticed that. I noticed that in our interviews. Like when we are hiring people, especially this year, I'm like coming on with a small company is risky. The company's changing often. We're going 1,000 speeds in different directions all the time. But I was curious, like, why would someone come to a small company when they could go to, the big company, the RBC down the street, they could go work at McDonald's, they could go do things like that where they have a more secure job that's very black and white. You get your contract and that's exactly what you do. And when I was talking to people, what I found their motivating factor, at least this year, and what I've noticed in the past couple of years, especially since COVID has come around, is that people aren't really looking for security. They're not necessarily looking for like their dream money job, but they're looking for a place they can grow. They want to be at a place where they were sick and tired of being at a big corporate America job where whenever they want to change something, they can't. Because they're just a number in a huge multi-tier hierarchy, and their say didn't matter. But when they're with a small company, they want to feel like what they do actually matters. And if what they do does matter, they will go out of their way to make sure they're doing their best job because it actually is significant.
No, for sure.
You're at a smaller company.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. So that's a great point, James. So so like reasons like that is why I think it's really good to like at least try to scale it past that $1 million. Like not only like for yourself, but also like for your employees, for the sellable future of like the business. Because if your business is doing $200,000, it's gonna be impossible to sell that thing. No one's gonna buy it. They might buy it for like $10,000 if that. But it's not gonna be like a scalable purchase where like you can actually get a good return on your, maybe 10 years of like hard work for trying to grow your business. So sellability, employee future, your future, so you're not gonna be just only yourself, and if you get sick or you get hurt, that the business just goes to absolute zero. Those are the reasons I strongly believe that you should at least strive for at least that $1 million. There's a bit of scalability that if you were to exit the business could still run without you.
There's also something to say about when you go for the million, it's going to force you to get your systems down pat.
Actually,
because we could do a shit ton of random services in many different ways, and we could make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. We could be scrubbing toilets, mowing lawns, washing windows, landscaping, gutter cleaning. We could do all these things to get to a few $100,000. But if you're truly going to get $1 million, it's going to force you to pick a niche, and it's going to force you to be damn good at that niche. Because it's not easy to get to $1 million, and it shows that you're doing something right. And you're going to double down on something, and then You can't get to $1 million just being a jack of all trades. I don't know if it's possible.
It probably is.
Maybe
possible,
it is, but you'll be burnt out in 2-3 years because you're go in 1,000 directions, and the profit will be zero because you're renting a chainsaw one day, you're getting your window washing stuff, your trucks, you're swapping your trucks. Employees are wasting time. You have to retrain someone to do 10 different services.
Exactly.
Come on.
I agree.
It's going to force you to double down on what works and be crystal clear and laser focused
and nail your systems, procedures, all that stuff too.
Yes.
Yeah, so like the business, like that's the end goal. Like I really feel like if the business can't run without you, you really don't have a business, in my opinion. And I think what James said there too, like actually getting a niche, actually getting like procedures, systems set up to scale to that $1 million is going to really help you if you do want to exit or take a vacation that you can, and your business can like run on those systems. Opposed to being at 200 grand and just taking on every little system and not really having like a direction or a niche that you're really specialized in. So yeah, that's why I really strongly encourage people to at least aim for like that $1 million. There's nothing wrong if you try and you fail, but if you don't really want to get past that $1 million you have no ambition to, I'm sorry, but I strongly disagree with you.
What do you think? Do you guys agree with us? Do you disagree with us? We'd love to hear about your thoughts in the comments below. And give us a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to this channel. Hey, we might be wrong.
Could be wrong.
You tell us why.
You tell us.
I'm looking for the best system, and if you can convince me that going for 600K is better, I'm all ears, man, but I think going for at least $1 million is the way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not without like it's like struggles too. Like we've had our struggles, like we talked about that like last week there. There's ups and downs, but at the end of the day we're learning a shit ton of like hard lessons, good lessons, things that we're not gonna do again. And we wouldn't have like learned like those hard lessons if we didn't actually try to push like the $1 million.
Yes.
It's almost like working out like, we gotta stress these muscles right here, but then over time they get bigger. Like right now I'm sore as hell. I just worked out the other day. I'm still sore as fuck right now. Right? But like, hey, over time they're gonna get stronger because there's force, there's pressure, there's stress on the muscles. There's stress on us like right now with everything that's going on. But we'll get stronger, overcome those, and that wouldn't have ever happened unless we were actually trying to go for over that $1 million.
Yes. Yeah.
But those are just our thoughts. But yeah, let's hear your thoughts. Looking forward to this, somewhat controversial topic. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.